Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Jannu tribe. We are here on the third island today with our seeresses of the shadows. We have Siko and her sister of her heart, Miko, and these two have been left on their own after Ravine has finally passed away of old age under the tree from which they are to gather up the nuts and to see the future for what their tribe should do. And these two ladies have actually seen the future, and it is quite a personal one because they need to find a mate amongst the available males of the tribe immediately so that way they will be able to protect themselves from the rogue males who are wandering this island and try to keep the line of the seers strong. So I think we're actually going to pick Nutan as the mate to try to keep the panda pattern really strong along Miko's line, introduce it into Siko's line, and to also pass on some of the traits that Nutan has other than the fact that he has a runner's leg. And yes, I do know that Nutan happens to be Miko's father, but I'm short on options here, and it's definitely not going to be Goku. And Anton, I just don't think he's got what I need. Maybe he could be a good mate for them. I mean, I guess Anton could be a potentially good mate for these two. I just really want to see panda pattern come out a bit more, and I want to keep the ram horns pretty dark. So actually, I guess Anton could be a good mate for Miko, and we'll try Siko being a good mate for Nutan. That'll work out, and then we won't have to worry about having a little bit of awkward interbreeding. So I'm actually going to send Siko out straight over right now to Nutan to mate with him and prepare her own legacy to leave behind now that she is old enough to have children to add to the seer line, because we are on the high alert for a male who is wandering in these grasses. We have bitten him with our poison fangs. We have attacked him a little bit. We are trying to keep him away, but I'm always concerned he's going to come back over to my females way too early. So Miko is going to stay here and wait patiently because Anton is not old enough to take as a mate just yet. But Anton is probably going to be the father of Dolomi's children as well. Dolomi is our current seeress of the sea. She is the seer of the tide pools. She's got a lot of beautiful shells that she is collecting over here. She has her companion Riri, who actually helps out quite a bit with discovering where all of the clamshells currently are around here. She zips around really quickly and tries to find up all of the clamshells to guide Dolomi to. So she's kind of like a acolyte, I suppose you could say, of the seer, and they're working together in the brand new tide pool we have down here. Unfortunately, we did lose Pulo. He passed away, but his mate Kokir is having their very last baby together, which is why we have Water Body and Nimble Fingers inside of our mutation menu right now in the hopes that her child will be born with Water Body. I have been trying to get the awesome underwater feeding bred back in with the little beaks, but there's a big downfall to that in the fact that the beaks, if they don't come with Water Body, really are kind of useless. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that. Over here we have, I think Dolomi might end up breeding with Kukiravan as well, and we can try that out, but I'm worried she's going to lose the vibrant red horns that she has. And Kukiravan actually is like mostly an explorer. He doesn't really have any specific really exciting traits. He's still just a little baby right now too, but we might try breeding her with multiple males just to see what our genetic variability is with the tribe. But all right, so we have a very busy babysitter slash mama right here with Kolari. She continually has absolutely amazing babies with her mate Nutan, so she and Nutan are going to have as many children as possible. Miko is their daughter. And let's go ahead and see what Kokir will have as her last baby. She is actually on top of the bones of Riri, Princess Riri of the Lost Peninsula. I miss her a lot too. And there's her daughter in the distance, a beautiful seer of the shadows. I really love her. Oh, she's so stunning. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this next baby is going to be. Oh, look at you! Yes! All right, little Rossi! Little Rossi is almost a seer, and the reasoning is we have underwater breathing, we have cracking ability, thank goodness. And let's see, Rossi, you are a female, so you've got nimble fingers for cracking, you've got water body, you've got gills. I'm so relieved. And she actually does have pinkish, she has pinkish horns. So she can actually go over, and she even has fishing. Oh, she has everything except for the beak that I really want. We might end up having her be Kukirvan's mate. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. That's such a big relief. So these two will probably end up being mates. So Rossi, I'm so glad that you have all of those traits, and she's a weaker seer. She's not a super strong seer, but she does have some of the seer abilities. So we will keep an eye on her, and mostly we also want to start doing just some basic exploring too. Which is kind of what Rikori is doing right now, trying to keep an eye on the area and defend the area too. So we do want to do some basic exploring because we do have a strong seer line in both directions with both water and the shadows now. So I don't want to spend too long focusing just on the seers. All right, attack the crabbit. Attack the crabbit. Can you get it? All right, we stole that little clam. Let's see. No, don't want to move her there. Don't move her there. Where's another clam? Not really finding any other clamshells. We'll find some and let Dolomie, our seer of the sea, get to them. And then her future potential mates are probably going to be Kukirvan and Anton here. So I'll move Anton down here. He can kind of come over this way, and he'll have been summoned to formally possibly be a mate of Miko, who is a seeress of the shadows. We'll have her go ahead and collect up the nuts. There we go. And he'll be formally summoned here to also help guard her from the wandering males until he is old enough to become her mate. So poor Miko is going to try to have as many children as she can early on, because she is actually a little bit sickly. She was born a little sickly, and I definitely want to see her have lots of children before she passes on. Kukirvan, I suppose, he can't feed from the bottom even though he has the beak, because he unfortunately doesn't have underwater breathing, but he can come help attack crabbits. So we'll send him down towards the seer of the sea, and he can help out with crabbit attacking. All right, and then La Isla here is probably going to be one of our wandering defenders. So she can come on up and start doing a little bit of exploring now that she is old enough. She has runner's leg and hind legs too, so she's got a ton of speed. So that'll actually be really good for her. And then Sirami, who should I have you? Have you had babies before? I'm pretty sure Sirami has actually been Kukirvan and Riri's mother. And Riri, where's your father? Did he just vanish off the family tree? Oh no, Pollock, there you are. All right, so let's see. And then Kukirvan was also Pollock's child. So Sirami, if I could have you mate with any of these guys right now, maybe Newton again? Newton just has really great skills, really good traits that I like to see passed on. So I'll have her mate with him. And we'll step you this way with your daughter, Misi. And then let's see, who's pregnant? We have Siko, heavily pregnant. One of our seers. Yes, we'll bring her down, and she can pop into the nest now. There's so many decisions to make, but I think we'll have a healthy tribe. I think right now it's just going to be a focus on having a healthy tribe, a little bit more strength. I should probably make sure that we leave Claw in more often than I have been. And let's see, I want Nimble Fingers in there too. Yeah, I think Siko should have a healthy child. I'm really hoping she'll end up with another seer-based child too. But let's focus on exploring the island right now and trying to raise our population enough that we can really figure out what is out there and what is hiding in the bushes. Newton, he's really been... I knew that he would be a really fun creature to breed when we had him on the last island, but he has been consistently churning out some very interesting babies. Rikori can set up a defensive perimeter. I feel like Rikori might be sort of like a Nara. They're sort of like defenders of the seers. They're protecting the seers and making sure that nobody gets too near the seers who shouldn't be. And we'll move Nara over here so that she can step in and become a mother as soon as that nest is available. And Kokir, what should I do with you, my dear? I'll have Kokir come over here and gather up some berries. And I wonder what I should have her do. She does have some seer ability, and she is the child of Dukir, and so he was a seer as well. I feel like she's contributed genetically. Would I have her mate with anybody who's left? I don't think so. We've lost a lot of our first level males. I actually need to see more males be born, because it just occurred to me we're not going to breed Goku because of his short-sighted eyes. So we have the aging Newton, then we have Anton, and then we've got Kurvan, and I kind of want to rename him. Let's name him Kurvan. So let's see, Kurvan. There we go. So we only have Really? Oh boy, that just hit me. 1, 2, 3 possible males to mate with. Oh my, we need some baby boys. So we need to cheer on for a baby boy from Seco. Let me double check the immunity. Yep, or the mutation menu. All right, baby boys, please. Let's see. It's a baby girl, and she's actually really cool looking. Look at her attack. Raylori. Oh my, okay, we're gonna name her Raylor. I like her. Raylori even. So let's go with Raylori. There we go. And she's going to be an absolutely awesome attacker. Look at her eyes. She's got bright orange eyes. She's very healthy. She's super strong. If she had had a bigger body, she could be even stronger. Poison fangs, claws, ram horns. She's ready to go. That's really cool. I really like her. So she is definitely an awesome child, but I need some boys. We need to have some baby boys soon. All right, and then Anton over here is actually old enough to finally mate with Miko. So he'll go ahead and take Miko as a mate. She is very old. She's not super old, but she is very sick. So we'll start moving her towards the nest. Anara is going to have her last child. We're going to have Kuvan come over here, and he can help out with like fighting the crabbits and trying to figure out, can we get you? Yeah, take that little crabbit, and trying to help find all of the clam shells. Dolami is going to take Anton as a mate once he's available again. All right, nothing there. Yeah, once we start getting creatures spread across this little area, we should be able to see the clams as soon as they pop up, and that'll be perfect for our seers of the sea. And I'm beginning to think maybe the helpers of the seers should be diggers, because they could dig up the clam shells and dig up the shells from under the beach. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And then the diggers can also gather up a lot of food from the beach side. So I think we're going to try to breed up some digger paw soon. In fact, I wonder, Anara, let's see if we can get digger paw bred into the tribe. And then claw, maybe they could be diggers and like defenders. So let's see. And then Kokir, I don't know if I'm going to be able to breed Kokir anymore. Kokir, if I bred you with Anton, what would I possibly get? I don't really know. I don't know if I want to. I'm a little bit worried about the number of boys we have though. I don't want to have to rely on some of the males that are not so awesome. All right, Lassie. All right, that's just a crabbit. So nothing there. Goku can come over and just be checking the area out with Lassie. Alright, so he helped us discover there's a crabbit there. So Kalari keeps having really awesome babies. Newton, I'm going to get Newton over here because he's just proven to be a really fantastic father genetically. So all of the ladies are quite interested in Newton. I think he has fathered and is going to be the father of all of the babies right over here. But he's just really awesome genetically. All right, who's oldest? Kalari is the eldest, so she will get first say at the nest. What's over here? Oh, it's a crabbit. All right. So she'll get first say at the nest next turn. And Newton will kind of keep an eye on all of the females and make sure that they are safe. So we'll have him stay over there. Let's see. And Kalari is over here. Hopefully Anara will have a healthy child. And then Anton, you too, my friend, are suddenly just like a very, very required male. Because we don't really have any other males here. So let's see. Rikori, she actually does have short-sighted eyes secondary. So I'm not sure if we'll actually breed her. Just because I want to let that die out. But she does have all of the abilities that a seer should have. So I'm not sure. We'll think about that. I think right now she's on defensive. She likes to be a good defender. So I'm actually going to change her gemstones so we can mark that she too is also a defender. And then Anton would have been a defender if it doesn't turn out that we desperately need him as one of the females genetics wise. All right, so let's go ahead and see what kind of baby Anara is going to have. And a boy, a digger boy. I'm so excited. Little Kuro, and he has also got some really awesome orange eyes. We've got some awesome orange-eyed babies being born lately. We'll send little Raylori over here. And Kuro, let's see, he could possibly father some healthy children. Look at that. He could father some healthy children. Oh my gosh, you know, we need to have the seers have one like the ability to crack and the ability to dig, and they could dig for shells along the beaches while they're searching for clams. It makes so much sense now. I'm so excited about that idea. We're figuring out what the perfect seer would be like. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's see. And I need to watch out because I'm pretty sure this is the no good male coming to bother us again. So Goku's going to stand over here and kind of keep guard. Actually, I wonder... You know what? I could see a bit of a romance. I shouldn't, because they would definitely have a short-sighted child. But I could see a little bit of a romance happening between Rokori and Goku here. So I'm going to let that happen, because having his baby is better than having one of the rogue's babies. So we'll at least leave that there. And then Lassie, one of our exploring females. Why does it have to be females who are the explorers? Because there's the rogue males around here. Just attack them with all you've got, ladies. She just found a dead crabbit to snack on, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I think getting Digger Paw, if I could pick the ideal everything, it would be Digger Paw and Nimble Fingers, so that you have the ability to dig into the sands as a seer, and you have the ability to open up the shells. Then it would be Beak, so you have underwater feeding, and then it would be Water Body, so you could go underwater, and then that would probably make a perfect seer, in my opinion. That would be really amazing if you could have all of those traits and be one of the seers. Alright, so we'll have little Kuvan help out with tending to the seers area over here. They gathered up a crabbit. And then we'll have Dolomie. So she sees, here's Dolomie staring at the clams that she gathers, and here's Anton. So Dolomie can gather up one of the clams and foresee from reading the clam that Anton should be her mate. So we will take him as her mate, because we're short on mates, short on males, don't have too many. But I think that Kuro will be her mate in the future if he is old enough when she is still alive, because Kuro has the ability to have children with the red antlers, but so does Anton. Mostly it's just trying to keep the tribe moving and grooving and going with so many different creatures all over the place. Alright, so who should be in the nest next, and what should they have? We have all of Newton's pregnant females over here, and I think Miko needs to get into the nest next if she can reach it in time. And we'll see what the other seer's child is going to be. So this is our seer of the shadows. Miko mated with Anton. So she took Anton as a mate, and she needs to have a child with Nimble Fingers 100%, or else we're not going to be able to have them be a seer. So definitely a child with Nimble Fingers, and failing that, maybe a child with Crackerjaw. So we'll put those two things in there, because Crackerjaw for the shadows wouldn't be bad because they live under a tree. Crackerjaw is okay for the seers of the sea, but being a beak so they could feed off the bottom entirely would be even better. So alright, we'll line those guys up. I'm gonna have Kokori maybe do a little exploring in her old age. I think we'll have her do some exploring in her old age. And Anton, I should probably keep him nearby because he really needs to be used as a mate for so many of our creatures. Let's see, Anara is about to pass away. Anton can come over and he can kind of guard this area because we're about to have Anara pass away, unfortunately. And Anara, I'm going to let you have like just a peaceful moment staying here with all of the children. So, and then little Rossi, what am I going to do with you, my dear? She is a proper seer, actually. No, Rossi, your name. Little Rossi is a proper seer. She just has a little bit of a some watered down traits. So she can actually fish, she can crack things open, she can collect, she can attack, she can swim underwater. So she's right on it. I'm going to give her a seer marker, and she's going to become an apprentice of Dolomie, I believe, and we'll bring her over to this area next time. So then let's see what's going on with these pregnant females. Let's see. And then did I put the right traits in for Miko's child? Yes, I did. And then we're going to just let these ladies, there's so many of them. So many pregnant ladies. What have you done, Newton? You have so many mouths to feed. All right, he's going to keep an eye on this area and try to make sure that everybody is happy and safe. So let's see. And then Messi, I think, is just a general explorer. Yeah, it looks like she's a general explorer, but she might be able to do other things for us in the future. But for now, we'll send her out exploring because I do want to explore the island. But our ratio of males to females is still a little bit concerningly off, so we need to keep an eye on that. But let's go ahead and see what child Miko, one of our seers of the shadows, is going to have. And I can only imagine that these seers would be so happy if they could have actually had their children born under a tree. I think that that is another thing that they're going to know from having cracked open the nuts as time goes goes on, and trying to send scouting parties out to clear the way so that the Seers of the Shadows can settle over here. And who knows which area, maybe over here? This is a good little tide pool spot. Who knows what area the Seers of the Sea will actually find they truly belong in on this island. So let's go ahead and see what Miko's child is going to be. And Miko, you have a little boy! Yes! No! Somebody's sick and pregnant. Not a good combination. He's a seer, sort of. He's I guess he could be a seer of the shadows. He fulfills three of the four traits. He's panda pattern with green eyes and he has ram horns. So there's 3 of the traits right there. And I'll say like the black, white, and gray ram horns are okay for Seers of the Shadow. The black ram horns and antlers are really what we're going for. And white usually means their power is a little bit watered down, but at least it's there. At least it's there, and he's healthy. Thank goodness. So Roduku, you are the child of Miko, and you are the child of Anton. So let's go with Anku. So this is going to be a little Anku, and he has also got that those orange eyes are really spreading fast in the family. So he can go and he can actually help his mother with cracking open those acorns. So I'm pretty happy about his birth. All right, so let's see, what do we have next? I heard the growling, the oh so ominous growling of a predator. I think Goku and Rikori are going to go ahead and do a little more exploring. She is pregnant, but I don't know if we'll ever... Oh, they look like they're almost holding paws right there. Aw, if they stumble on a nest, then they can go ahead and have that baby. But mostly I wanted just to get her pregnant so that they can stay like a mated pair without having the wandering males bothering her. All right, so and then La Sila, I think I should maybe have her really push herself to try to... If I was going to get to... Oh, good, maybe that was the rogue male, and he has been vanquished. He has died of poison, which sounds really heartless, but it's actually a good thing to see so he won't bother our females. All right, let's see. La Sila, let's see. La Sila, there we go. She is going to help clear the way towards the tree too. I think that especially because she has the runner ability, just more and more, especially because of our nest tree tribe that we're also running every other day with this one, I feel like the striped creatures with runner's legs really love the savanna areas. They really love to be out in the open grasses that way. So we'll have her follow the savanna into the mysterious north to see what is going to be up there. And let's see. Then I've just got to feed all of our pregnant females over here. I love these cliff sides. These cliff sides are so cool looking. All right, and Koldari, we'll get you over here and you can take over for Miko. Miko, I think, needs to go back to her nest, but she wants to have at least a couple children, or back to her tree, but she wants to have a couple children before that happens, so that she can know she has contributed to the tribe. So we'll have her mate again with Anton. Anton is actually suddenly, like, he's kind of taking up the position. Do you guys remember when we had... Oh, was it Anaro? I can't remember. I think it was Anaro who was like the happy father of so many of the orange-eyed children, and he was protecting all of them at the Mother's Peninsula. I think that we have another one of those fathers who just becomes like the babysitter of all of the nest and takes care of all of the children, and that would be little Anton. So I think that's adorable. All right, and then we have Raylari. She's definitely going to be a good explorer, I think. She is really built for exploring. She can come back and she can probably give birth to a dark-horned child in the future, possibly with Anku. Yeah, they would actually make a really great pair, Anku and Raylori. But Raylori is very eager to go out and be able to defend, so she may be one of the traditional defenders of the trees. We'll have to see. All right, and then what do we have over here? Kuravan has grown up, so he is ready to help out when he is old enough. For now, he can kind of do a little bit of searching for all of the clamshells. Riri can go ahead and collect up some clamshells while she is waiting for Dolomie to come back from the nest, because Dolomie is going to be headed over to the nest to have her baby. And then let's just see, is that baby? Yeah, can't get Anku out of that nest for a little bit. So let's go ahead and we'll just focus on, are you not dead yet, Crabbit? My gosh, come on, there, about time. I cannot believe that Crabbit put up such a huge fight. All right, so we've got so many pregnant bellies and not enough nest, but this tribe, unlike the nest tree tribe, is not nearly as competitive about it, and should be okay. And then Rasi here, how much movement do you have? 1 movement! He's got horrible movement! Rossi, you're so perfect in every way, but all he can do is swim. That's really funny. Okay, we're gonna have Rossi move over. And would Rossi be a good mate for Dolomie? So they could possibly have some seer children, actually. I would really want to see that cracker jaw. But yeah, they could actually possibly have some seer children. But I'm going to move Rossi very slowly into the water because he's apparently much more effective in the water than anywhere else. This is like having a fish born on land. So we'll get him over there. I'm going to let Kokir explore this direction and just kind of tidy up this area for when we get the tree seers back up there. And then Kuravan, I think I'll have him explore along the beach and kind of clear away some of this area. So Kuravan may potentially be a mate, but I think right now I'm going to mark him. Yeah, we may potentially have him be one of their mates soon. Actually, maybe he and Riri would have... No, they're siblings. They're way too closely related. He might have some interesting children, but we're just having trouble figuring out how to use his genes, so we'll see. But all right, so we've got everybody lined up. I really love how Goku, our little bro, has ended up meeting Rokori, and they ended up with this odd little love story of just being defenders, like tough sort of bodybuilding defenders. We've got our explorers, we've got lots and lots of babies, we have our unexpected genetic fathers churning out awesome baby after awesome baby, even though on the surface Newton was not one of the best choices to take. And then we've also got Anpan, who is quickly becoming the babysitting happy father of all of the babies born over here, even if he's not officially their dad. So definitely making some progress with the Jannu tribe. Very excited to see what lies further to the north of this middle island and what kind of children the seers will have. So I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.